Hey tennis fans, I'm Grace Carter and this is Tennis Now, presented by Tennis Express. Tennis Express, talk to our racket and shoe specialists. Maria Sharapova launches her comeback in Stuttgart this week after serving a 15-month doping ban and is set to play Roberta Vinci in the opening round of the Porsche Tennis Grand Prix. It will be her first WTA match since losing to Serena Williams in the 2016 Australian Open quarterfinals. Against Vinci, Maria has dropped only 4 games, winning 4 prior sets. However, before Maria has even hit a shot, we get controversy and some trash talk. Agnieszka Radwanska joined Andy Murray, Caroline Wozniacki, and several other pros voicing her opposition to Sharapova getting wild cards into tournaments. Aga says that this kind of entry into the tournament should be available only for players who were dropped in the ranking due to injury, illness, or other random accident, not for those suspended for doping. She says Maria should rebuild her career in a different way, beginning with smaller events. Well, as you can imagine, those comments were not well received by Team Sharapova. Sharapova's agent, Max Eisenbud, fired back at both Radwanska and Wozniacki, saying the two are journeyman players who are just trying to keep his client out of the events, and he says they have no clue about the facts of Maria's case. And this ought to be interesting because if Maria and Aga both win their Stuttgart openers, they will face off in the second round. By the way, Maria has beaten Radwanska in 13 of 15 meetings. Given the strong reactions from several players, including Dominika Cibulkova, who blasted Maria as a totally unlikable person, how do you think this is going to play out? Will we see more intensity and animosity between Maria and her rivals? Or will Sharapova show some contrition, be a little friendlier to her rivals? For her part, Hall of Famer Chrissy Everett expects a changed Maria. She thinks Maria will be more open, maybe come back a little more evolved as a person. Chrissy says how she's received in the locker room will really depend on how she treats her WTA colleagues. Stay tuned. Roland Garros is going to be announcing coming up on May 15th whether it's going to award a wild card to Maria. Meanwhile, Boris Becker is talking about the GOAT, and he gives it to Roger Federer. The Hall of Famer told Sky Sports that Federer's run to his 18th Grand Slam title at the Australian Open, followed by his sweep of the Sunshine Double, reinforces Roger's place among the all-time greatest athletes that we've ever seen.
Roger Federer is the all-time greatest, so we shouldn't be surprised anything Roger does. But at 35 years of age, an unbelievable performance. I rate him as one of the greatest sportsmen of all time in the league of Ali, Jordan, Pelé.
In 3 years working together, Boris Becker coached Novak Djokovic to 6 of his 12 Grand Slam titles before the pair parted company in December. But since winning his 67th career title in Doha to start the season, Novak has struggled. Novak hasn't gotten through the quarterfinals in the last 4 tournaments, including a shocking second-round loss at the Australian Open. His former coach thinks it's his mind and motivation. Becker says you can't lose your forehand or your serve overnight. It's his mindset. He told Sky News a lot has changed after last year's win at the French. It was his lifelong dream. And then you popped the balloon and the air went out and he hasn't gotten the air back. And another upset for Novak in Monte Carlo at the hands of David Goffin. Here's what Nole had to say.
Well, I'm always, I don't know if you want to call ambitious, but I like to call it, optimistic about myself and my chances on every tournament. I think I've earned the right to be optimistic everywhere I play, everywhere I go, because of the career and results that I've had. So this doesn't change, and I think it will never change. I will always want to win in every match that I play on, every tournament that I play on, and I think with that kind of mindset I'm able to, and I was able to get to the level where I am.
All right, moving on. To the fellas looking to impress Venus Williams, a word of advice. Do not challenge the 4-time Olympic gold medalist in tennis. In a new interview with the New York Post, Venus says that trash talk she hears from suitors is a major turnoff. She admits she knows the guys get nervous, they want to impress her, and they'll say things like, "I can beat you at tennis." Well, of course, Venus disagrees with that. She knows that she can beat them blindfolded, left-handed, and with a crutch and a cane, but she says when they say things like, "I can beat you at tennis," she doesn't hear anything else that comes out of their mouths. Well, I gotta tell you, Venus looks fit and fashionable in the photo spread along with that interview. And you know, Venus designs her own clothes for her company called 11. She says her own style is evolving. But here are the 3 criteria she sticks to when designing. Number 1, if she wouldn't wear it, it won't make it off the cutting room floor. Number 2 is once your ego is out of the way, she says, will someone else wear it? And number 3, she says it's got to be comfortable. If you're not comfortable, there's no reason to wear it because you'll feel self-conscious. Well, I agree with all 3, Venus. So what will Venus wear to Serena's wedding? Well, of course, whatever Serena wants her to. And speaking of Serena Williams, she followed up on her big pregnancy news last week by celebrating her return to world number 1 this week. The 35-year-old, by the way, is due in September, and she shared this very touching tribute on Instagram. Says, "My dearest baby, you gave me the strength I didn't know I had. You taught me the true meaning of serenity and peace. I can't wait to meet you. I'm so happy to share being number 1 in the world with you on Alexis Ohanian's birthday. From the world's oldest number 1 to the world's youngest number 1. And that's our news for now. I'm Grace Carter. See you next time here on Tennis Now.